let's get one thing straight. Let's just get this straight right here. This we're gonna set it off like this from the rip, okay? This ain't no Ether versus Takeover, no Jay-Z Hove versus Nas Escobar versus Jay-Z. This ain't even Kool Moe Dee versus LL Cool J. This beef right here is it seems a little bit WWE, a little manufactured. The beef records and the so-called back and forth that's been going on recently between MC's top tier caliber lyricists, high caliber lyricists, Royce the 5'9" and Lupe Fiasco. They've been going back and forth at least for the last week and a half, close to 2 weeks. Well, it came at a full head because they released 2 diss songs going back and forth at each other, you know? So let's get into it and let's talk about the beef between Lupe Fiasco and Royce the 5'9". Oh yeah, you know I'm gonna break it down. You know we had, come on. You know we had to talk about it.
Hey yo, my jewelry looking precious. I'm from the east side shit.
Silence of the Lambda. Lambda. If you're not familiar with the Lambdas, those were the nerds from the film, the 1980s film, Revenge of the Nerds.
Lambda.
There's one who'll see us.
Lambda.
Yeah.
Those were the uncool, the unpopular, the nerds, when they formed their own fraternity because they were too uncool to get into the other fraternity. So they decided to form Lambda fraternity, Lambda fraternity. So Royce is basically calling Lupe Fiasco nerd and saying that he's nerd rap. And, you know, one thing that I've always, I'm full disclosure, you know, I've never been a huge Lupe dude like that. And, you know, Royce is nice, you know what I'm saying? But you know what, before I even get into this and say that, Lupe Fiasco is dead nice on the mic. Even though I haven't necessarily gravitated to his music, Lupe Fiasco is definitely a nice, dead nice lyricist. Let's just get that out the way. I respect him. The dude is nice. His pen game is very nice. Royce the 5'9" is a supreme lyricist. That's certified. Royce is very nice, just like Lupe. He's dead nice on the mic. So I really have like no stake or no favoritism. I have no stake in this race right here. Like I'm not rooting for either one of them. I just want to see some good songs, some good lyricism that'll come from this so-called beef that they have. Royce had his Silence of the Lambda, and then Lupe came out with his Steve Jobs track, dissing Royce. Royce, this track was all right. You know, Royce was getting busy doing his thing on there, being lyrical as Royce always is. But he took some jabs at Lupe here and there, but the song wasn't necessarily Lupe Fiasco centered, whereas the Steve Jobs track was heavily centered specifically on Royce the 5'9". I mean, Lupe was getting at Royce, you know what I'm saying? And the beat was, you know, I thought Lupe's song was better constructed because it was more technical. And it was more precise, and the beat was a little bit more better, I thought, than the Royce song. Royce's song was a little bit muffled. You could tell it really wasn't mixed down properly, and it was just kind of threw out there just for consumption. But the Lupe joint was nice, very nice structured track. I thought like I said, the beat was cool. Lupe had a couple higher hitting lines in there at Royce that I liked. If it wasn't for Premier, you wouldn't be. If it wasn't for, I got a dozen more. Hove think I'm Hove, Nas think I'm Nas. That's the trick. You ain't got to think when they already think you are. I mean, that was a nice one right there. I mean, you could, arguably debate, even though Royce was doing his thing prior to, you know, the Primo albums that he's came out with, which has been 2 albums, the Prime joints. Even though Royce was doing his thing lyrically and getting busy before then, you know, one, if you want to nitpick, obviously, one, if you wanted to technically nitpick, could say that Royce's career really didn't get on fire until he started collaborating with Primo. It's an argument right there, but you can quietly say that though. But Royce been getting busy prior to that, but just Primo lit that extra, you know, Primo light a spark in anybody. It ain't gotta be Royce. You get Primo on the production and on the boards, Primo will light a fire under any rapper, any MC. And so I kind of disagree with that, but I see where he's coming from with that. So that was a real nice line by Lupe. Lupe was definitely a lot more technical than Royce, where Royce was being general with a lot of his jabs that he was throwing at Lupe. 170 on the dash, all the felonies and the demonic acts, with devils like Vlad always selling me all of the trauma back. That was a nice little line by Royce right there that kind of stood out to me. Definitely, Royce was continuing to take his shot at DJ Vlad, for what, they have their little thing going on. So if we talking about just from an overall song standpoint, I think Royce made the better song, lyrically. The song is better, lyrically. Lupe's, the only reason why I'm giving Lupe the edge in this so-called beef right here, or this battle right here, if that's what you want to call it. Lupe had lines in there about Royce that was nice, but Lupe was just more direct and he was more straight to the point. So in a hip hop, if we talking hip hop and we talking about beef and verses and people going up against each other, like how we used to in hip hop, whether it be LL versus Mo D or Nas versus Hove or Big versus Pac, if we taking it track for track, as far as which track was better, as far as the beef wise is concerned and verses, I'm giving it to Lupe, hands down, because Lupe was more straight to the point, straight shot at Royce. I mean, it was no here and there indirect. Lupe's song was just direct. It was just here and there sporadically talking about Royce, then talking about other subject matter. Whereas in Royce's song, Lambda, Royce was, his main focus on the track wasn't Lupe. He mentioned, he kind of took the Jay-Z takeover approach, where it was a song where he was rhyming, but he was, he talked a little bit about Lupe, but then he was talking about a whole bunch of other stuff too. It wasn't just like the Nas Ether, where Nas just directed a whole lyrical assault for 4 minutes at Jay-Z. Let's be clear, not to compare these songs to either one of those two songs, whether it be Takeover or Ether. But I heard it's over. I heard Royce is not going to continue it because he don't want to personally attack Lupe. And Lupe was like, I'm moving on from Royce, kind of, sort of. Me and Royce had some things where we was doing like a podcast and all that, but that's over with after all of this back and forth. So it looks like there will be no more beef songs, possibly. I don't know. We don't know. It might be. But if it is, I'll definitely keep y'all in the loop. In the Lupe. I'll keep y'all in the Lupe. Peace.